Has anyone ever told you that the history of music never truly dies? Music history is simply a mighty river that keeps flowing, curves through decades, crosses oceanic borders, and transcends differences in language and culture, until it finally finds a new vessel to surge once again. In the past, the world was struck by a miracle. A man stepped onto the stage in a glittering military jacket, a single white glove on his left hand, and a pair of black shoes capable of defying the Earth's gravity. When he balanced on his toes, when he launched that legendary moonwalk, tens of thousands of people in the stadium fainted. The world crowned him as the true royalty, the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Years have passed since silence swallowed the king's footsteps. The world wept, believing that such theatrical magic would never recur in human civilization. The world assumed the global pop stage had become a cold and ordinary place. Until finally, from a port city named Busan in South Korea, a young man emerged with a gaze full of tenderness. He is Park Jimin. For tens of millions of armies across every corner of the earth who have witnessed his journey from the beginning to this day, watching Jimin on stage is not merely watching a K-pop idol dance or sing. There is something far more mystical at play. There is a subtle vibration that sends shivers down your spine. A feeling of numbness in the chest as we watch his body respond to every beat of the drum. It is no wonder that international music critics, world-class choreographers, and pop culture observers alike have begun whispering the very same name. They do not call Jimin an imitator. They call him the spiritual successor to Michael Jackson in the modern era. Today on the Infinity Borhi channel, we will take a journey across two different eras. We will unravel the invisible threads connecting these two pop maestros from different generations, from the anatomy of their spellbinding dance moves, to the uniqueness of their gender-defying vocal ranges, their courage in tearing down global fashion walls, and the magical aura that transforms two shy men into mesmerizing stage commanders. Find your most comfortable spot, dim the lights in your room, and let us explore this emotional and grand tale together. Anatomy of Movement, from sharp strikes to dancing winds. Let us begin this journey where human eyes first fall in love. Body movement. If you close your eyes and picture Michael Jackson on stage, what is the very first thing that comes to mind? He is precision. He is sharpness. Michael Jackson danced as if his body were a percussion instrument. The roots of his movement were deeply grounded in popping, locking, street dance, and jazz. Every time the drum fired a sharp snare, Michael's body would hit it with high-level precision. His movements were sharp, crisp, yet flawless. He could freeze his entire body in a fraction of a millisecond, a freeze that made thousands of eyes hold their breath. Then, in the next split second, he was already gliding across the stage floor as if the concrete surface had been slicked with oil. The moonwalk and the anti-gravity lean, tilting his body at a 45-degree angle, were not merely visual tricks, but the manifestation of extraordinary muscle control. Michael Jackson's stage vibe was an explosion of theatrical energy. He was a storm hitting the stage with a sharp, unstoppable rhythmic beat. However, let us shift our gaze to the present. Let us look at how Park Jimin steps onto center stage. Jimin did not begin his journey on the bustling streets of a metropolis. He built his physical foundation on cold, academic wooden floors through contemporary dance and classical ballet, before eventually blending them with the power of modern hip-hop. If Michael Jackson was lightning striking with sharp precision, then Park Jimin is a swirling, graceful gale. Jimin's trademark lies in his almost impossible physical flexibility. His movements flow like water. He doesn't just follow the beat of the drum. He follows the melody, the sweep of string instruments, and the deepest emotions of a song. When Jimin dances, you cannot see where his body ends and where the music begins. Watch how he leaps into the air, aerial moves that make him appear to float for several seconds before landing without making a single sound. Notice how his fingers reach out into the empty air, how his neck turns with dramatic beauty, and how his body bends with profound expression. The stage vibe projected by Jimin is an extremely rare combination: elegant grace, a subtle sensual aura, and the ability to seamlessly blend masculine and feminine charm. On stage, Jimin does not merely dance to entertain. He is painting an emotional poem with every fiber of his muscle. Yet, do you know where the most magical similarity between Michael and Jimin lies? World-class choreographers who have worked with BTS have shared one truth. Both Michael Jackson and Park Jimin possess the rare ability to infuse the soul of a song into their physical being. There are many great dancers in this world who can memorize thousands of complex choreographies with precise counts. But only a few dancers on planet Earth can translate pain, longing, and love from lyrics into a body language that brings tears to the audience's eyes. Michael did it through the strike of his feet. And Jimin does it through every swirl of his breath and every glance of his eyes on stage. Heavenly vocal tones that transcend boundaries. Through our eyes have been treated to the aesthetics of movement, let us sharpen our hearing. Let us enter the vocal realm of these two legends. In the history of pop music, a lead vocalist's voice is usually designed to sound thick, heavy, or dominant. But Michael Jackson and Park Jimin chose a completely different path. They possess vocal colors that are not only unique, but radically emotional. Michael Jackson possessed a vast tenor range. But what made his voice an eternal legacy was not just how high a note he could hit, but the instinctive techniques he invented himself. You certainly recognize those iconic vocal hiccups. You know the scatting bursts, the sharp gasps of breath, and the soaring emotional shrieks in the middle of fast-tempo tracks. Michael used his voice just like he used his body, as a rhythmic instrument. On the other hand, when delivering an emotional ballad, his voice could transform into something deeply raw, honest, and pure, capable of breaking down anyone's inner defenses. Now, listen closely to how Park Jimin's voice fills the songs of BTS. Within BTS, Jimin holds the position of lead vocalist. His vocal character is categorized as a countertenor or high tenor, an extremely rare and high range for a male singer. If you listen to Jimin's solo tracks like Lie, Serendipity, Filter, up to his latest works in the albums Face and Muse, you will feel a vocal timbre that stands in stark contrast to typical male singers. Jimin's voice carries a silky falsetto texture, like soft silk brushed by an evening breeze. His high notes glide with such purity, lending a sweet, mysterious, yet deeply emotional feminine hue to every song he touches. Jimin's voice is the soul of BTS's vocal harmony. When a BTS song demands an emotional touch that cuts straight to the heart or soars through stadium roofs, Jimin's vocal is always called upon to deliver. The vocal similarity between Michael and Jimin does not lie in whether their timbres sound identical. No. Their resemblance lies in the courage to use unconventional vocals to express deeply honest emotions. Neither is afraid to sound vulnerable. Neither is afraid to sigh into the microphone. Neither hesitates to reach for high notes typically avoided by male singers. And it is precisely because of that courage that the vocals of Michael Jackson and Park Jimin remain timelessly etched in the minds of millions. Shattering fashion walls and gender aesthetics. Music and dance are two main pillars, but a maestro's charisma is never complete without visual aesthetics and fashion influence. Let us step back into the 1980s. That time, the definition of Western masculinity was heavily dominated by muscular men, heavy attire, and conventional looks. But Michael Jackson arrived and shattered all those norms with radical fashion choices. Michael took the stage in military jackets adorned with glittering gold beads. He wore slim trousers paired with sparkling white socks so that his footwork could be seen clearly from the highest stadium seats. He wore a single diamond-encrusted glove on one hand and did not hesitate to use makeup to accentuate his facial features. Michael Jackson broke boundaries. He proved to the world that a man could be bold, highly theatrical, and incredibly captivating without being bound by rigid, traditional fashion rules. 3 decades later, in this modern digital era, Park Jimin carries out the very same revolution. Jimin is widely recognized in the international fashion industry as one of the most influential gender-fluid icons on the planet. He gracefully breaks the boundaries between menswear and womenswear. On stage, in music videos, and on the covers of prestigious global fashion magazines, we often see Jimin confidently wearing beautifully structured corsets, elegantly patterned skirts, delicate lace-trimmed garments, and stunning jewelry. Yet, have you ever noticed something extraordinary? When Jimin wears these pieces, he never looks out of place or forced. On the contrary, He exudes a new kind of elegance, an aura that perfectly blends feminine softness with masculine strength. He proves that aesthetic beauty knows no gender. Both Michael Jackson and Park Jimin understood that stage clothing is not just meant to cover the body. Clothing is an extension of their dance artistry. Michael's sparkling jacket caught the reflection of stage lights as he spun, just as the fabric of Jimin's attire flows gracefully through the air during his aerial spins. Both turned fashion into a visual weapon to reinforce the message of freedom and boundless art. Magical aura and dual contrasting personalities. Yet, if we were to point to the one thing that captivates people the most, the one great mystery that makes Michael Jackson and Park Jimin so deeply beloved, it is the extraordinary contrast of their personalities. Have you ever watched old off-stage interviews of Michael Jackson? Behind the grand stage curtain, Michael was a deeply shy man. His speaking voice was extremely soft, almost like the whisper of a child. He was gentle, polite, inclined to withdraw from crowds, and fiercely protective of his private life. He seemed so fragile and innocent. However, observe what happened when the stage spotlights turned on and the first beat of music struck. That shy man vanished without a trace. On stage, Michael Jackson transformed into a giant dominating the arena. He became commanding, sensual, fierce, and radiated an aura of authority that brought tens of thousands to their knees. His gaze, once soft, turned sharp and mesmerizing. Now let us shift our attention to Park Jimin. Behind the screens in BTS reality shows or while greeting fans during live streams on Weverse, Jimin is the literal definition of warmth and gentleness. He laughs easily, often blushes while hiding his face in his hands, cares deeply for his fellow BTS members, and possesses a sweet demeanor that makes anyone want to protect him. Yet the moment Jimin steps onto the stage as the lights dim and the bass vibrates, something terrifyingly beautiful happens. The sweet angel who was just smiling innocently transforms into a fiercely dominant and captivating performer. His eyes turn intense and alluring. His movements carry a dangerous sharpness. He commands the attention of an entire stadium with a single snap of his fingers or a sweep of his hair. This transformation is not something that can be learned at any art school. It is a natural gift possessed only by true masters of the stage. Both Michael and Jimin used the stage as a sacred place where their true, uninhibited souls could come alive without fear. The stage was their healing ground. And this stark contrast between off-stage gentleness and on-stage intensity is what keeps millions of fans around the world captivated in endless admiration. Industry recognition and tribute to the maestro. Parallel between Park Jimin and Michael Jackson is not merely a one-sided claim by fans swept up in admiration. No. This connecting thread has been openly acknowledged by senior professionals in the international music and dance industries. Top-tier global choreographers who have worked with Hollywood's biggest stars have repeatedly expressed their awe at Jimin's work ethic and execution. They describe Jimin as a rare kind of dancer who appears only once every few decades, an artist who dances not just with muscle but with his whole soul and bloodstream to bring a song to life precisely how Michael Jackson interpreted every instrument into physical motion. Yet the relationship between Jimin and Michael Jackson becomes even more beautiful because of one thing. BTS and Jimin have never hesitated to show their deep respect and love for the king of pop. They do not try to hide Michael Jackson's influence. Instead, they celebrate it on global stages through elegant homages. Do you remember the global phenomenon of Dynamite? In the choreography of that record-breaking hit, BTS openly incorporated iconic elements of Michael Jackson's moves, from high kicks and hat tilts to standing on their toes. They delivered those legendary moves with a fresh, signature BTS touch, introducing the king of pop's legacy to a new generation in the 21st century. And specifically, look at Jimin's solo performance of Filter. On their concert tours, Jimin's performance of Filter was a theatrical masterpiece that directly echoed the vibe of Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal. Dressed in a sharp suit, Jimin executed a rapid and dramatic outfit change right on stage. He interacted with mannequins, performed with enigmatic theatrical gestures, and blended modern dance aesthetics with Michael's signature rhythmic beats. That performance was not just a dance, It was a love letter from a young artist to the maestro who inspired him. Through these tributes, Jimin proves that he is not trying to steal Michael Jackson's crown. Jimin is passing the torch of magic so that the fire of theatrical stage performance never dies with the passage of time. A continuously resonating legacy. As we stand here, looking at these two extraordinary figures from different eras, we come to realize a deeply touching truth. Michael Jackson once walked this earth bearing an immense weight. He was a pioneer who paved the way for pop music to cross boundaries of race, nation, and language. He proved that music is a universal language capable of uniting all humanity within a single stadium. And now, in the 21st century, that sacred duty rests on the shoulders of BTS, and specifically in the delicate hands of Park Jimin. Jimin, along with his brothers in BTS, has proven that a young man from Asia, singing in his native language, can shake the largest stages in America, Europe, and every corner of the globe. He has proven that dance born from genuine emotion can transcend all cultural divides. Jimin has never claimed to be the next Michael Jackson. He has always humbly described himself as a student who is still learning. And it is precisely because of that humility that Michael Jackson's artistic spirit feels so alive within Park Jimin. Every time Jimin leaps on stage, every time his high vocals pierce the stadium's silence, every time he smiles gently toward tens of thousands of purple lights glowing in the dark, we are not merely watching a K-pop star in action. We are witnessing the continuation of a miracle. We are witnessing how the flame of beauty once lit by Michael Jackson continues to burn brightly, warmly, and beautifully within Park Jimin. To Michael Jackson, the eternal king of pop and history, thank you for teaching the world how to fly on stage. And to Park Jimin, the artistic soul from Busan who is now a beacon of light for millions of hearts across the earth, thank you for choosing to keep dancing, keep singing, and keep being a vessel for boundless beauty. And to all ARMY watching this emotional story on Infinity Borhi wherever you are, how do you feel after exploring this emotional journey and comparison between these two great maestros? Which part of Jimin's dance or vocals reminds you most of Michael Jackson's stage magic? Share all your beautiful thoughts, pride, and love for Park Jimin in the comment section below. Let this comment section become a warm space of appreciation for the art and beauty of performance. Don't forget to like this video if this story touched your heart, share it with your fellow ARMYs and music lovers, and make sure to subscribe to the Infinity Borhi channel so we can continue walking together and appreciating the deep, beautiful, and unspoken stories of the 7 extraordinary men who changed our world. Stay warm, stay healthy, and always remember, Borhi, we purple you forever. Purple heart sparkles.